Welcome back to the channel. Today we are installing a Pelsee mirror dash camera. What's cool with this is you're going to get some advanced driver assistance system capabilities. So it's got lane detection monitoring, it's got collision detection during driving and parking, it's got pedestrian monitoring, gives you a whole bunch of information. And what's great about this for a Wrangler is, you know, a lot of times there's never really been, even if you have a JK specifically, backup cameras when they were not a standard. This is great because there were no great features for backup cameras on the JK. We're going to install it on a JL today, but when it comes to a JK or even a JL and you've got an oversized tire or you got some accessories, this is going to provide some great view of the back, and especially if you have passengers in your car, you're going to be able to see what's behind you without looking and seeing passengers' faces. So we're going to dig in, we're going to show you how it is to install this, and then we're going to go through some of the features and functions of it. So let's get going. So we're going to unbox this together here. So you've got your mirror, and this is pretty slick. You've got your camera on the back, it's got the protective tape on it, but so we had a little glitch in the install, not really anyone's fault but my own. So we're going to show you how we installed this Pelsee camera. It is really straightforward. You can learn from some of my mistakes. So here we go. So the camera clips on here very easily. The one thing I will say on the Wrangler, it is big. I don't think it's too big, but it is big. And the downside is you cannot put your visor down because it will hit the mirror. So if you move the mirror out of the way, you can put the visor down, but then the visor is kind of in the way. So keep that in mind when you are shopping for one of these style cameras. It's kind of an issue, but I gotta loosen up that cord a little there. I personally, for me, it's not a huge issue. When I drive, these windshields are so small anyway, I usually just tip the visor down like that. I never lower it all the way because for me, it lowers to about halfway. So for me, it's not really an issue, but I wanted to point it out. I don't particularly love where the wires come in on this. I think I did a nice job hiding them, and I completely understand why they're there because it attaches to the back of the mirror, so they can't attach to the back. It's not earth-shattering, it's not that big of a deal, but the wires do all plug in up top. So when we ran the wires, this top panel actually unclips very easily with no tools. I ran the GPS one that way, which I'll show you in a minute. I ran the power and back camera this way towards the driver's side, and I brought them all the way over here. And this is where I went wrong. I was going to bring the rear camera all the way down the A-pillar, down here, through the back, and up into the hard top. And I'll show you where I mounted the camera, but it didn't work, and I'll show you why in a second. So the power cord comes down through here very easily, comes back here. These panels, that panel pops off super easily, and I came around the bottom of the dash right there, and I just came up right here. Now I will, what I'm going to ultimately do is probably get rid of this, and I'm going to hardwire it in because I hate this kind of stuff plugged in for something that's permanently mounted in the vehicle. But for a do-it-yourselfer, it works, and you don't lose an outlet. You actually gain a USB, so that's kind of cool. So that's how I mounted the power. You can actually do all of that without any tools, but they do give you a panel puller tool, so that's really nice to see. So the little black tool they give you works very well, but sometimes this one's a Matco one, but you can go to Harbor Freight and you get these panel tools very cheaply. Not a bad tool to have. Now, I'm going to show you where we mounted the wires for the back camera. As I said, the wire comes under that panel. We come around and I come through here. Now, I removed all of these screws all the way down on the whole Jeep, and the wire, if you get them past where the screws go, there's a little bit of a void right there where the wire can sit, and then this can screw up perfectly. Now, I will say there is an airbag on this side here, so you want to be careful. Where I put the wire, I feel confident that there's not going to interfere with any of the airbag stuff that's on the back side, but do at your own risk, and just be aware that the airbag is back there on both sides. If you have a 2024 Wrangler, previous ones you do not have airbags here, so don't worry about it. But again, I removed all those screws. I worked the wire, in fact, I gotta put that back in, worked the wire through the A-pillar, back around, and I just used this tool to open it up to push the wire in. Now you wanna push the wire in carefully so you don't pinch it, but you'll get the idea. So same thing, the wire comes all the way down right about here. This panel above the seatbelt pops off, and I come around to the back side of the roll bar. Once I was at the back side of the roll bar, it comes down right through here. It comes into this pillar. All this stuff just pops off, and then the wire for the camera comes under here. This pops off, and it goes up right into this spot here where your hardtop, all your hardtop connections are made. And then I used a piece of wire, and I actually bring it up here, right through this hole here, and here's where I mounted my camera. The camera is not centered on the Jeep. I'm actually right here, center is about right here. Now, I'm gonna show you why I did that. I'm the kind of guy who hates schlocky wires everywhere, and I'm okay with this right here, but if I were to put this here, I'm gonna have the wire kind of just dangling here. Now, the other thing is I have this set up so if I pull enough wire out of here, you're gonna get to the, well, you're gonna get to the plug. There actually is a plug there. Now, the one downside to doing what I did, when I go to remove the hard top, I'm gonna have to unplug it, and then I'm gonna have to reroute this from here to here. Now, mind you, it was really simple, but it is something that I'm gonna have to redo when I go to remove the hard top, because this is obviously going to stay on the hard top. So this little section of wire I'm gonna have to reroute, but for the time being, it works. The other thing I tested is the view from the rear view mirror up there where the camera's here versus here. The only time it really made a difference was like a foot off the back of the Jeep. You could notice it was maybe not center, but for normal everyday driving and what you want to see from the rear view mirror, I'm standing right in the center of the Jeep right now. And if you look at the camera, I'm dead center in the actual screen. So for all intents and purposes, it's totally fine. And if you actually think about the JKs, when they did backup cameras, they actually used to put them down in the corner here under the tail. So this little bit of off center, I am not concerned. So why did I put it inside? Well, I didn't find a great spot to put it outside. I was actually thinking about putting it in here or mounting it on the back of this, but all you saw in the camera, you saw a lot of wheel and tire. It kind of really ate up a lot of the view. Could have mounted it down to the bumper if you really want to keep it outside. I just kept it inside. I think it'll be fine. And for that matter, even the outside camera for the backup camera on the JL, it's always dirty in the salt and everything in the winter. So I figured inside, you wipe the window and you got a nice view. Even with the tinted window and with it closed, we'll show you the view inside. So that's through the tinted window. I'm completely fine with what that view is. I think it looks good. Install is really good. The reason why we couldn't come along the bottom, which actually probably would have been easier, I came along the bottom, I came up here and then went that way, is there's not enough wire. So if you have a big truck or you have something, you're gonna need to be mindful that you've got enough wire for that camera to go the route you wanna go. So don't be like me and just start running it. Check it out first, make sure you got enough wire, because we ended up having to pull it out and reroute it. Again, my fault, but you wanna make sure you have enough wire to get from the camera to where you wanna go. That'd be my one feedback. More wire would definitely not be a bad problem on this. So I think it's a very clean install. You really see no wires short of the few there. We talked about replacing this already, so that'll happen. Everything else is really nicely hidden and very easily done. Just remove these Torx screws and slide it in. So the other thing we talked about was the GPS. There is a GPS sensor. So we came, just like we did for the power that way, we came this way with GPS. We came around here, and I gotta hide the wire, but the GPS is stuck to the top of the roll bar. We'll have a view to the sky through the hardtop. I don't know that that'll be a problem. I guess we'll find out here shortly. There are some features on this dash camera that are pretty cool. You get front screen, back screen, and you also have some lane departure assist. You have some pedestrian monitoring. You have some accident avoidance, some collision detection. So we're gonna take a little ride and we're gonna show you some of the features that are added to this, this camera. Now on my other vehicle, I have a camera here from factory, but I do like how this actually records. So in the event of an accident while you're driving, you do have, you know, a dash camera, and it does come with a SD card as well. Let's dive in. We're going to show you some of the awesome features that this camera provides. So if you look on here, we've got a box. So this will, you can actually set your parameters. See, it's picking out different vehicles. And you can set your parameters, so if you had a car approaching you too closely, you can calibrate all of this so it will alert you if you're going to get rear-ended or if someone's coming in too close. And it actually, if you see these blue lines here, we need to adjust that one a little bit. That determines if you're staying within your lane, so it's got like a lane keep assist system. So aside from the functionality of it having the cameras and the recording, there's lane keep assist or like a blind spot monitoring. So it actually, if you start to veer over based on how you have it set it's going to determine if there's a vehicle in that lane next to you before you make that turn. The other thing that is super cool, and we're going to pull over here and show you. So when you get to this point here, you can actually adjust this camera up or down depending on what you want to see. Now that yellow area there is what we have set up for our like the rear end collision alert. So if someone comes into that, we're gonna get an alert. But you can adjust the cameras, and then if you want to toggle between forward and back, so now I've got my forward camera and my backup camera, and if you go one more, it flip-flops them, and I think if you go one more, so now I've got all forward, and go again, you've got all back. Now Charlie learned something here. Charlie, what did you find out?
The voice control?
Yeah, so show us what we got.
So you have to make sure it's on, which is this little microphone here, make sure that's on. And then right here is a list of commands that you can do. So you can say like, turn off screen.
Okay.
Turn on screen. Turn on screen.
Okay.
It's super responsive, and you can also do things like show rear camera.
Okay.
Show both cameras. Show both cameras.
Okay.
That's my fault. Show front camera.
Okay.
Start recording.
Take a photo.
Okay.
So pretty cool. And then the GPS shows you what direction you're going as well as your speed and time and all that kind of stuff. This thing looks like you're watching 4K TV. It is, I mean, it is crystal clear. And to Charlie's point too, if you push this button on the bottom, now it just feels like a normal mirror, which I know the camera isn't going to pick up well, but it acts just like a normal mirror. Push it again. Again, I don't think the front view makes a lot of sense to stay on. For recording purposes, I totally get it. But for being a mirror, having the front camera doesn't make a ton of sense. It seems very intuitive. You know, you've got your different settings here, camera settings. You can change how often the recording loops. You can actually set it too. So like if you were to get into an accident, it's gonna the sensitivity of your G-force, it'll actually start recording based on, you know, if you had a hard break or something like that. You can do timestamp sound recording, that kind of stuff. There's quite a bit of just normal settings, volume setting, auto power on, power off, voice control, date, time, all that kind of stuff, formatting, just typical stuff you would generally see. Files, this is going to be the images that you've already recorded. Again, there is a SD card in here you can pull off and check it out. And then again, your smart driving, here's where your driving assist modes, you can calibrate them as well as turn them on and off. It is super straightforward. When you go to calibrate, it shows you exactly where you need to set these settings and walks you through it. Guys, this is super, very intuitive, very cool. And, the touchscreen seems very responsive and again, very clean. There is a camera on the back here, which you can move and adjust depending on the angle of everything. Again, so everything's very adjustable. It did just strap to the mirror. They give you a couple different straps you can use depending on the style mirror you have. Overall, I think it's super cool. If you watch here, look, it's going to pick up the pedestrian and that purple dot, so it alerts you, you know, when if various things going on. It's got a car picked up over here. Watch, it's going to pick up this car here. So it's alerting you of various things, and depending on how you have this thing set up, you're going to get different alerts for what's going on. So my only feedback, it's a little on the big side, mostly only because I can't put my visor down. But again, for me, it's not a big deal. I have the camera at my eyes right now, so I really don't ever pull, you know, I'll tilt it like this if sun's coming in, but to go past this, I mean, I would have to look down here anyway. So for me, it's a non-issue. Passenger visor still works just fine, so that's good. You can still pull the visor off and go this way, so that's, you could still do this if you wanted to. You could pull it down in front of it if you wanted to. So it's really not that big of a deal, but it's something we wanted to point out. The install was straightforward, assuming you follow some of the tips that, you know, we figured out. Overall, what do you think, Charlie? Anything we missed here?
No, I think you covered it all.
So again, huge thanks to Pelsee, I believe that's how it's pronounced, for supplying us with this camera. A+, 4K. It thing is really sharp. Some of the features are really cool. So it's more than just a digital mirror. You get some other benefits with speed and all these cameras and recordings and all these safety features. So huge A+. We're gonna have a link below. You got Amazon Prime Days coming up, so score yourself this thing and enjoy it. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be glad to help. Again, thanks again for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.